From the Center for the Study and Teaching of Writing at The Ohio State University, this is Writer's Talk. I'm Doug Dangler. I'm here today at the 2013 Ohioana Book Festival with author Sharon Short, who has recently published My 1 Square Inch of Alaska, which is not very much of Alaska, but I'm sure you're going to tell us more about it.
Absolutely. The idea came when I was at a book club with some friends, and we were reading a romance, so the topic had nothing to do with the book we were reading, but somebody said, does anybody remember the deeds that you used to get from cereal boxes to 1 square inch of Alaska? And that was in the 50s, so it was before my time. I didn't remember that, but the concept just really captured my imagination, and very soon I had a couple of characters, Donna and Will really wants to get his deed to 1 square inch of Alaska in my novel. Although it's based on the actual event, he has to work a little harder. He has to save box tops, and he has to write an essay, and he gets his deed to 1 square inch of Alaska, and he wants to go see it. And his older sister Donna says, I don't think so, but he becomes ill, and she decides to help him do this, and in helping him fulfill his seemingly childish quest, she reconnects with her own dreams. So the novel is really about dreams and the power of dreams and why it's important to embrace them.
Okay. What were you able to find out in your research out of this? Did people cash in their 1 square inch of Alaska in the 50s? Did somebody get a foot of Alaska?
You know, actually, it was 1 square inch of the Yukon Territory in real life, but everybody remembers it as Alaska. Okay. That's the title. And yes, people did try it. You can still buy these deeds to 1 square inch of the Yukon Territory on eBay. I got one for Christmas for my husband, which I thought was really sweet. Or through antique shops. Of course, now that 1 little square inch costs $50, and the deed's not worth anything, because even though the cereal company that did this in real life, it was very Mad Men-esque. They bought up this big tract of land, and the deed that you get is actually to a percentage that's equivalent to 1 square inch of this huge tract of land that they bought. But people did take it seriously, and they would try to collect up a bunch, and they would try to cash it in until the Canadian government got annoyed and bought back the land and just said, okay, these weren't real deeds to begin with.
So they invalidated.
They were real deeds, but they weren't deeds that you could actually cash in. And they did actually have a way that you could stake out and find, as close as you possibly could, your 1 square inch. Isn't that amazing?
That is. I think it's sort of funny that they would have bought that large tract of land. You know, it is, I'm going to go with the word crazy.
It worked, though, and part of it was to promote not only Quaker puffed rice cereal, but
sorry, Quaker.
Yeah. But it was also to promote a radio show called Sergeant Preston of the Yukon that was transitioning to television. So it was this, that's why I said it's this madman-esque thing. It's, we've got Sergeant Preston on the cereal box, we've got the deed inside, oh, by the way, we want you to buy our cereal, and we want you to watch the TV show if you've been listening to the radio show. Okay.
So you did this after being inspired in your book club, and you're a columnist, though, for the Dayton Daily News.
I am.
Tell me about the transition from, say, writing columns to writing a novel.
The column I write right now is called Literary Life, and it's part of the arts page on Sundays in the Dayton Daily. So I write a lot about book clubs and other writers, literary festivals, and it's interviewing people and it's reporting, so it's nonfiction. I mean, it's a newspaper column, so it uses, you know, both fiction writing and column writing, or writing, but it uses a different style, a different part of my brain. So
how did you make that transition?
Well, I've always written, so I do both at the same time. I write fiction, and I also write the column. Okay.
And you've got 2 earlier mystery series, right?
I do.
You've written. Tell me about those.
Okay. The first one came out 20 years ago, and at the time it was cutting edge. It was the Patricia Delaney series about a woman who used computers to do her detective work. 20 years ago is a long time in computers, so now it would be historical. And that was set in Cincinnati, and those were published by Fawcett Books. And then I wrote a humorous mystery series that came out from Avon Books, and like 2003 to 2008.
Okay.
So this is my 10th published novel, and I'm very excited about it.
Okay. But this is, I sense maybe you're going for a more literary stance than
Yes.
some of the other things.
Yeah.
What's that change? Where did it come from?
Well, the mystery series both series really helped me learn about how to plot, structure, story structure. That's very important in any story, but in a mystery story, you really have to nail that. So I still apply those techniques to my standalone work, but you're right, this is considered literary book club fiction, and really the story just fit that genre, and I love to read mysteries, but I also love to read that genre as well.
Okay. So you are the recipient of the 2012 Ohio Arts Council Award. Tell me about receiving that and your reaction to it.
Oh, I was absolutely thrilled. I was one of several writers who received the Ohio Arts Council 2012 Literary Artist Fellowship, and it was absolutely wonderful because receiving that fellowship was not only acknowledgement that it was based on early chapters of this novel. So it was the first affirmation I got from objective readers that, yeah, this is something you should be working on. I also have to say I did win a similar grant from my county, Montgomery County Arts Council. So those two grants really helped me have time to work on the book, and also enabled me to go to New York and meet my agent and editor in person for the first time, and talk with them about the work. So that was wonderful. It was very helpful.
Tell me about when you receive a grant like that. You said it gave you time to work on it.
Right.
In what ways did you get that time? Did you buy babysitting time? Did you buy a place to go, an office that you could do work? What was it that bought you from you? But somebody else wrote your columns. What was it?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. That would have...
Ghostwriting.
Next grant.
Right,
I'm
next
paid
grant.
for ghostwriting.
Ghostwriting.
Actually, it covers everything practical. It can be very practical. I bought a new printer. I bought paper and toner for the printer. So that's not buying time. That's buying resources. But I say that I work in the gig economy, in that I adjunct teach, I write a column, I direct a workshop, and I write novels. So I just had to do less freelancing. I've also done marketing writing, of that kind of writing, so I would have time to focus on my fiction writing, and that's a real gift, to have that focus of time and energy.
Okay. And you're on the Antioch Writers Council, right?
Yeah, I'm the director of the Antioch Writers Workshop that's held in Yellow Springs, Ohio, every year.
So tell me about the relating of being on that to the kind of work that you're doing in the novel, because I'm guessing that in the workshop you're reviewing other people's work, giving feedback, and then you get the opportunity for them to give feedback on yours.
Well, as the director, I'm more in charge. I have taught for the workshop, so in that sense, yes, I did give feedback. I've been an attendee 20 years ago of the workshop and received feedback from instructors. As the director, I'm sort of overseeing the infrastructure of making it happen, finding great faculty, and helping participants know where it's taking place, etc. But it's part of, I see it as I'm part of the literary world in many different facets, and it's wonderful because I can see other people pursuing their writing dreams. And of course, this is a novel about the power of dreams, so it does kind of all interconnect.
Okay. What is your next genre going to be? You've tackled mystery, you said humor, columns. What's the next thing up?
I'm working on another historical novel set in the 1960s, and it's again literary book club fiction. So.
And you're not going to give away any secrets about that?
Any secrets.
Not even a title?
Not even a title. Because I'm one of these writers that if I tell you, then I've told the story and I don't feel that urgency to write it down. So that's why I'm very closed.
We won't ask for that then.
Okay.
Well, Sharon Short, thank you very much for being here on Writers Talk.
Thank you.
And from the Center for the Study and Teaching of Writing at The Ohio State University, this is Doug Dangler. Keep writing.